Okay, this video accompanies packet 3. The first sheet on here is just kind of review of fractions and properties of using fractions. This really should have been, on the other packet. Multiples and factors, least common multiples and factors. So you should review this. Like, combining fractions, you're looking for the common denominator, which is like the least common multiple. Simplifying, you might be needing to find greatest common factor. But this packet really starts with matrices and adding and possibly subtracting matrices. So the key idea with adding matrices or subtracting matrices is that they have to have the same size. So in terms of dimensions of a matrix, we have matrices are always labeled in terms of rows by columns. So these are the rows, and these are the columns. So this has 2 rows and 2 columns. So we would call this a 2 by 2 matrix. Where's an example? Over here we have a 3 by 2, and here we have a 2 by 3. And these matrices cannot be added because the dimensions aren't the same. It's always rows by columns. And rows are the horizontal rows, not like the rows you'd see in a classroom. Columns are up and down. So the columns and rows and columns have to match the dimensions. Must match to be able to add matrices. Let's move up and see what we got here. And subtracting matrices, pretty much the same thing. I would probably do plus opposite with these. So I would, to kind of save time, I would turn the subtraction into a plus, and then I would make each element in the second matrix the opposite. And now I'm just dealing with addition problems, and I just deal with addition assigned numbers. Okay, so let's see what we got. So subtract the matrices when possible. We're just really subtracting corresponding elements from each other. So this is going to be like 1 take away 3, 2 take away 2, 6 take away 1, 0 take away -3, and so on. But to kind of keep, so there's actually like 6 subtraction problems here. To keep it straight though, like I usually go plus and make each one opposite in the second one. So I always do that with subtractions. So now I'm just worried about adding. So 1 plus a -3 is a -2, and the answer matrix is always going to be the same exact size as your original matrices. Otherwise, if they're different sizes, they can't be added or subtracted at all. So 1 plus a -3 is a -2. 2 plus a -2 is 0. 6 plus a -1 is 5. 0 plus 3 is 3. And -1 plus -5 is -6, and 4 plus -1 is 3. Okay, going over to down here to number 2. Again, these are the same size, so we can add them. I'm going to do, with that subtraction, change it to plus opposite. So flip the signs of all of those. 1 plus, so the answer matrix, same size. It's going to be 3 by 2. This one is, no, sorry. This is a 2 by 3. This one appears a 3 by 2. So 1 plus a -3 is a -2. 2 plus a -2 is 0. 3 plus a -1 is 2. 4 plus a -5 is -1. 5 plus a -4 is 1. And 6 plus a -6 gives me 0. So there's our answer matrix for number 2. Looking at number 3, this is 3 rows and 3 columns. They're both 3 by 3, so they can be added or subtracted. It's a subtraction problem, so I'm going to go plus opposite. So that turns to a plus, that turns to a plus, that turns to a plus, turns to opposite. That turns to a plus. The answer matrix got to be the same size. It's going to be a 3 by 3. And 6 plus a negative 6 gives me a 0. 2 plus a negative 9 is a negative 7. 2 plus 4 is 6. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Negative 3 plus 0 is negative 3. Negative 9 plus 8 is negative 1. 5 plus negative 2 is 3. 1 plus a negative 3 is negative 2. And negative 8 plus 7 is a negative 1. Let's took care of those. Number 4, pretty much the same deal. It's a 2 by 2 with a 2 by 2. So they can be added or subtracted. The answer matrix is going to be a 2 by 2. Do plus opposite to make it an addition. And add the corresponding elements. 2 plus a negative 1 is 1. 3 plus a negative 3 is 0. 1 plus 2 is 3. And 5 plus negative 1 is 4. For number 5, this is a 2 by 4 with another 2 by 4. Plus opposite. Okay, got that done. Now it's going to be a 2 by 4. And 8 plus 8 is 16. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2. Negative 6 plus negative 5 is negative 11. And 3 plus 2 is 5. Going for the second row, 0 plus negative 1 is negative 1. Negative 7 plus negative 6 is negative 13. Negative 5 plus negative 6 is negative 11. And negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative 9. Okay, got that. Here we have one that cannot be done. This is a 3 by 4. And they're trying to add it with a 3 by 3. So these dimensions don't match, so it cannot be done. Let's move up. Okay, use order of operations. So remember, order of operations, PEMDAS, you do multiplies and divides before you adds and subtracts. So let's see. So we're going to have to do 3 times this first and 4 times this one before we add everything together. So while it's just sitting there in place, I'm going to go ahead and edit it. So I'm going to turn this to a 9, negative 6, negative 12, 3, negative 3, 0. So I multiplied 3 by 4 for this one. And over here we got 4 times everything. That's going to cause that to be a 12, 24, negative 16, 20, 8, negative 8. And then we also have to do plus opposite with any subtractions. So plus opposite, 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 opposite. Another one over here, plus 0 don't matter, opposite, 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 opposite. And now we got them all as an addition problem. These are all 3 by 2s, so they can all be added. The answer matrix is going to be a 3 by 2. And I'm going to add the corresponding elements. So we've got 9 take away 7, that's 2, plus 0 is 2, plus 12 is 14, plus 2 gives me 16. First row, second column, a negative 6 plus 8 is 2. 2 take away 7 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus 24 is 19. And 19 minus 3 is going to be 16. Let's look at row 2, column 1. A negative 12 plus 9 is a negative 3. A negative 3 plus 1 is a negative 2. A negative 2 plus 16 is a negative 18. And a negative 18 plus 1 is a negative 17. Let's look at row 2, column 2. 3 plus a negative 8 is a negative 5, plus 1 more is a negative 6, plus 20 gives us positive 14, plus 1 gives us 15. And then row 3, column 1, a negative 3 plus 7 is a 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 8 is 15, and 15 take away 3 is 12. And then the last one, row 3, column 2, 0 take away 6 is negative 6, negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4, negative 4 take away 8 is negative 12, and negative 12 plus 8 is negative 8. So that's how we would finish those off. Let's look at that. Okay, so let's move on. Multiplying and dividing absolute values. Now remember, absolute value is distance away from 0. So sometimes you can just kind of deal with it by just kind of ignoring the sign. But literally it represents the distance of numbers away from 0, and it's always going to be positive. So up here, example 2. Get rid of this. Okay. So example 2, we're going to do the absolute values and then deal with it. So this negative sign out in front, what comes out of this absolute value is going to be a positive 3, but the negative sign outside actually switches it to a negative 3. And this negative inside basically is canceled because the absolute value only has positive numbers that come out. So that's how that worked. So let's see what we got on these. So let's see. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. But the absolute value is 3. So here we have the absolute value of 4, which is 4, divided by 3. That's going to give us 4/3. Here we've got absolute value of 2 times negative absolute value of 5. The 2 times the 5 is going to give us a 10, and we end up with negative the absolute value of 10. Looking at number 7, multiply these together, you got square root of 40. (12) divided by 3 would be 4, but the negative sign makes it back into negative 4. Looking at number 10, absolute value of 7, negative 7 is 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Here we've got the absolute value of 12, the negative absolute value of 12, which is going to end up being a negative 12, divided by 6. And that's going to end up being a negative 2. On number 3, we've got 14 divided by 2, that's going to be 7. That's absolute value. Negatives cancel. For 11, we've got 12 times 2, which is 24. That's times a negative 2, which is going to make negative 24. For number 8, we get a negative 4 out of this part here. Negative 4 so let's see where so 4 comes out of the absolute value, the negative sign attaches to it, becomes a negative 4. Negative 4 times 8 is negative 32. 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5, and you got the negative sign, so negative 5. This is the same thing as a positive 6. A negative 18 divided by 6 is going to be negative 3's, but you've got a positive 3. Not so sure about that one. Let's see. minus 18. I'll come back to that one. Let me get the eraser on this. So I'll come back to number 12. Okay, let's look at number 20. A 1 times an 8 is an 8. A 3 times a 7 is a 21, but there's a negative sign involved, so it's going to be negative 21. A 21 plus 7 is going to be 14. Okay, I'm going to have to erase some of that. Okay, here, absolute values, positive times positive gives 28. Over here, we get a negative 5, it's absolute value, that's going to be positive 5. Over here, we have a negative with a 5 times 3, that's going to be a negative 15. And over here, looks like this is a division. I think it's a division problem. A negative 2 divided by, or a 2 divided by a negative 2 is going to be a negative 1. Let me move up. Let's look at 7. Okay, a negative 1 times a negative, absolute value of 1 times 4 is going to be 4, but we got the one negative sign there. That's going to end up being a negative 4. Absolute value of a negative 6 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. Here we have 18 divided by 6, which is 3. Here we have 6. Here we have 1. And here we have negative 15. Okay, let's move on. Okay, practice on order of operations. Except now exponents are involved also. Let's see what we get. So we got to do 9 times 2, that's 18. 24, take away 4 gives us 20. Parentheses gives us 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 18, take away 36 is negative 18. Looking at number 3, that's going to simplify to a 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9, take away 8 is 1. Next one, 49 divided by 7 is going to be 7. And 3 times 3 is 9. So 7 minus 9 is minus 2. Let's look at number 5. Well, 10 times 4 is 40. And we have minus 5. So 40 minus 5 is going to be 35. I'm not so sure about this one now. I think I missed the right one. So 10 times 4 is 40. 40 minus 5 is 35. Okay. Let's look at number 6. We're going to multiply as we go across. We got 6, and then 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Here we got 4 times 4 times 4, which is 30, which is 64. 64 divided by 8 is 8.6. 8.6 divided by 4 is 2.15. Okay, so I'm letting it run on again. Let's see. So let's look at number 7. This gives us 6. 8 times 6 is 48. 4 times 4 is 6. So this is 64 divided by 48. I'll give it to you to simplify if you want. For number 7, 14 take away 6 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. We have 7 plus 64 divided by 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16. 16 and 7 is 23. Let's look at number 19. Okay, so number 9. Let's see, in the parentheses, 2 and 8 is 10. 10 take away 12 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Here we have negative 5. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 times 4 is negative 80. Up here we have 16 with the 4s. So 8 and 16 times 2. 8 and 32. This can be 40. 40 take away that gives us 34. Here we have a 10. So 9 p.m. with a 10 o'clock parent. This is going to give us 9 times 10, which is 90, plus 3, which is 93. For number 13, 12 take away 6 is 6. 27 divided by 9 is 3. We have a 6 plus 3, which is 12. For number 82, 82 to the 0 power is a 1. And we got a 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So for 14, this is a 1. If you do order of operations, 1 take away 1 is 0, plus 4. So you get a 4 divided by 1. Let's go back to 13. 6 plus 27. I'm taking this as a divided by 3. So 27 divided by 3 squared. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So this is going to be 6. 12 take away 6, which is 6, plus 3. That's going to be 9. Let's look at 14. That's a 1. And we have 1 take away 1, plus 4. So 3 seats up on that one, and you're dividing by 16. Let's look down here, number 15. We got 2 take away 3 is a negative 1, 1 take away negative 1 is 2. 2 plus 8 is 10. Over here, 7 take away 2 is 5. 4 times 5 is 20. 12 take away 20, negative 8. Over here, in parentheses, you get 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. 2 take away 12, negative 10. Let's see, we got 10 to the squared, 100, plus 27. Plus 27. Wait, okay, let's get 18 over again. So we got 3 to the third, which is 27. 27 take away 2 times 3. 27 take away 6 is 21. So 100 plus 21 is 121. Looking at number 19, 7 and 2 is 9. This is 16. 16 plus 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And it was 16 divided by 3, which is 13. And we get 28, take away 27.